Hello, mi amor. ¿Cómo estás? I thought today I would start off with the Spanish. Hi guys, how are you? Thank you for joining me in another episode of Growing Up Congolese. And guys, I've talked about marriage, having been like I've made reference to marriage, the importance of it and everything, blah 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 blah. And I'm 26. I'm sure my mama's looking at me like, when are you gonna get married? I'm sure she's thinking, even though she said it a couple times out loud, but but I know she's thinking it like frequently. But it is funny because I work as a teacher and I'm working in elementary school. I get mommy fever. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like the way my kids hug me, I love those kids. Oh my God, I adore my kids. They are so funny. They are literally the light of my day. Although sometimes when I walk in there, I feel out of place because this is not the career that I went to school for, and I have a lot of work to do and everything. But the 6 hours I spend with them is never dull. It's funny. I laugh. The things that the kids say is so like it's just ridiculous. So, and having especially my kindergartners and my first graders, just having the chubby little hands just like hug me, and they are tight huggers. It's just like, oh, the best feeling in the world. And it was funny, and it's funny because of that mommy fever, I've been thinking about what will motherhood look like, how I'll be with my kids. I feel like I'll be a boy's mom. I feel like I'll have because I want to have 4 biological kids, and then I want to adopt 3. And yeah, so that man he better be a great man. God, please send me a good man to deal with that. And I would love to be a first. Oh yeah, and I want a big house because there's gonna be a lot of kids running in and out of my house. So yeah, I'm African, so we might have an entire village in our house. So let's start building that mansion. God, give me a man who can build a mansion, because there's gonna be a lot of kids in there. I want 4 biological, but I do want to have a lot of kids. I have a very soft spot for kids who don't have good parents. So yes, so I've always said this, I will adopt, I'll be a foster mom, I'll be a big, if I were to live alone right now, if I had my own place and everything, I'll be a big sister to somebody. I would take somebody in. I do not mind at all. And that's the one good thing I like about my African culture, imparting the nature part of me, the nurture part of me. So it is in my nature to just take in people and all that. So I love it, but I don't want to take the wrong people. And I've been taking the wrong, especially my friends group, and the track of men that I've had, it's been the wrong people. But besides, I would love to take kids. And so yesterday I was having discussion with my sister, my best friend, and we were talking about, and she's turning 26 in December, so next month, and we're just talking about oh my God, we're 26, and we're and to be honest, I feel like my 20s, everything that the stereotypical stuff that's supposed to happen in your 20s has happened to me. I've had a bad relationship. Well, I had my first real relationship. It was a bad relationship. All the friends that I had in college have moved on. My circle have become very small. I am more centered. I am more focused on myself and my dreams and my career and the life I want to build. I am honestly laying the foundation for my 30s, because I would love to be married and have children during my 30s and everything. So all the stereotypical stuff that's supposed to happen in your 20s have been happening to me. So the other thing that's left is a long, stable, lasting, good career, a great man, a good man, Savannah, and children, and a career. I want to have my PhD before well, before I'm 35, let's just say that. Before I'm 35, I want to be a mother before I'm 35 and everything. At least have my first one before I'm 35 and all that. So, yeah, so me and my friends been having this discussion. We're talking about, like, we're 26, we're laying the foundations, we're doing this, we're doing that. And then we came upon, like, talking about baby names. And I told her, I'm like, look, you know what's funny? Like, I've started picking out, like, my kid's name. And we were talking about it, and we were just like, and the theme came up, right? And the theme came up, and my kid's name will probably start with Z. Like, I like Z names. And she's like, and one of my kid, like, I've always said, like, my first son, I will call him Zaire. I love that name, Zaire. Is actually the former name of the Congo, Zaire. So I love the name Zaire, and one of my son will be, like, my firstborn. If the boy is gonna be Zaire. I don't know how Zaira sounds for a girl, but she might need therapy if I choose that for her. Or Zainab. And we're talking about names and just how important it was for me to have African names. Like, I want to name my kids African, like, give them African names, name in Lingala and all that. And thinking about it, the reason why I want to give my kids African names is because in African cultures, names are wishes from your parents to the child. I don't know what giving my kid the name John would do to my child. Like, besides John being in the Bible, like, I don't understand, I had this student, I swear to God, his name was Beckham. He's a Hispanic kid. His name was Beckham. And I remember being like, why did they give you the name Beckham? And, like, as a football, for my American friend, soccer fan, like, I automatically understood that, his daddy loved football and stuff like that. But I was like, what? Why would you give your kid that has no connection the name Beckham? I don't get it. I don't even know if there's a celebrity that I love so much that I want my kin to have his name. Like, why do we do that? Like, why? Maybe because I think Africans have a different, celebrity culture than Western people. But I will never name my kid after a famous person. Like, no. Like, why? What is your wish for that kid? To be a football player? And let's say that kid become a football player and he becomes successful. What name are they going to call him? Beckham. Is that glorifying your family, your history, your heritage, or is that glorifying somebody else? Like, I guess we like to pay homage to people, right? And it's not bad, but as an African, I just don't understand the point of naming somebody after a celebrity. Oh, I love the soccer fans. I want to name... Like, why? It makes no sense whatsoever. Like, my first name is Ndaya, and Ndaya is a Luba name. I am actually named after my paternal grandmother. And although I've never used the name previously, like, I always introduce myself as Cynthia, because those are actually my full first name is Ndaya Cynthia. My name means greatness. My name means of greatness. Some, like, Motu Yalokumu, right? Somebody of greatness. That's my parents' wish for me. Cynthia is Greek. She was like Athena, like Greek goddess of the moon. And I was born early morning, the full moon was still out, and my dad liked the name Cynthia, and so I'm named Cynthia. There's a story behind the name. There's a wish behind the name. Like, I love the name Kimia. Kimia means peace. Lola. I have several people in my family with the name Lola. Lola in Lingala means paradise. Like, I just love how, because for me, names is like, if I cannot give you anything, I cannot give you money, I cannot give you, like, and in African tradition, it's like, when a baby is born, you're supposed to send him, like, you're supposed to give him or her a good wish. I remember when my niece was born, and we went to visit my niece at the hospital. I remember just seeing my mother, like, being like, you're gonna be great, you're gonna do this, you're gonna be this, you're gonna, like, even Adam did it. He saw Eve, he imparted in her, you are the flesh of my flesh, you are the bones of my bones, you are my woman, because you came out of me. Like, damn, that's deep, right? Like, what is your wish for your kid? Are we like the only culture that does that? Like, I know, like, I believe Indians also have the same culture. I think I've had a discussion with my Indian friend about like names and everything. It's like now I have to admit, some Congolese people name their kids the stupidest the stupidest thing. Like, listen, Congo is the most beautiful, amazing, fucked up, crazy. You have to be Congolese to understand Congolese people. Because if I were to just describe Congo, you would not get it. Like, we are 50 shades of something. So some names you're like, well, your mama named you that for real. Wow. That's your name, really. Especially different ethnic groups. So, and the first ethnic group I can think of is Nengalas. Some of their names, like, these people have like no sense of responsibility, no sense. It's like they would some names will literally get people in jail because it's just like, ugh. But I think the reason why for us Africans it's important to have cultural names is because of our history, right? Because of colonialism, we were supposed to, be like the white man again and all that. And our names were taken away from us. We had to adopt Christian names. You had to be called Jean-Pierre. You had to be called Daniel. You had to be called something that the white man can pronounce, right? And I remember one of the policy of Mobutu was to have ethnic name. He was Joseph Désiré Mobutu, right? And then he became Mobutu Sese Seko, was a Banga Koko Benge, and like all the rest. Because for us, it was like your name is your identity, is who you're connected to, is your history. Like, I've never met my paternal grandmother. I don't know what type of woman she is. So I can never really relate the name to her, even though I'm named after her. But Ndaya is such a common name in the Luba language. So it's not really like, there's not, I don't have to be like, oh, my grandmother is this, blah, 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 blah. But I always like the name Mianda. My maternal grandmother, whose name is Mianda, and there's several girls in my mother's side of the family whose name is Mianda. And I love Mianda because of her story, right? My grandmother came from the village. She came from a culture where she was not supposed to be educated. That woman was a strong-headed. She was a strong-headed woman. She was problematic for men. She got an education. She became a journalist. She became she became the press secretary for President Mobutu. She was the leading voice of journalism in the Congo. And so for me to name my daughter Mianda is like, not only is like to keep my name, like, is my wish for her, but that type of homage, I would love to have that type of homage to show my daughter, like, you are carrying the name of a strong woman. So, bitch, you better not be weak. Because Mianda was a fighter. Mianda was, that woman was a fighter. Every time I hear her stories, and it's funny because when I went to Europe, I met people who know my family, who knew my grandparents and everything. And when I told them what I was studying, they were like, "Oh, so you're following your grandmother's step." Like, that made me so proud. That made me own my voice, because I think sometimes when you're a woman who is trying to, like, make her own name and everything, like, people try to put you down. Like, I've had people try to put me down, even in my family. Like, one of my uncle was like, yeah, like, why you keep getting all these degrees? Like when you get a man, all those degrees are gonna go down the drain, like, because if I get a man, like, my degrees won't matter, or I will not be able to find a man who will be able to be with me because of my degrees. Now, it's true that it's hard to find a man when you're a highly educated woman, because sometimes men feel like they look at you as you have what is supposed to belong to us, so they don't see the feminine in you because of their own insecurity, especially if they have not achieved their goals, right? So ladies, never be threatened. Never. It's never about you. It's about them. It's about how they feel about them. It's about their self-esteem. So it's never about you. But hearing people be like, "Oh my God, you're like your grandmother," and then telling me her story, telling me how loud she was, telling me how bossy she was, it's like, oh damn. Now, if I had the name Mianda, I'm you will know my name is Mianda, right? Like, that would just fit. And my name fits me because, I am of greatness. I am. And I receive it. That was the gift. That was the wish that my parents had for me. And I told you guys in the last episode, my parents did not raise me to be behind somebody else. They did not. And I don't have the personality of somebody who can be behind somebody else. Like, through God who strengthens me, I can make anything, right? That's how my parents raised me. And it matches my name. It is the wish behind my name. So as I'm being motherly and going through my mother fever and everything, my baby fever and all that, I'm just like thinking about names. It's like, oh my God, what is the wish I would like to leave my kids? What is the wish? What is the gift? If I can give them money, if I cannot give them anything, how? Like, what would be my gift to them? So names are important, y'all. I don't know if in your cultures names are important, but let me know, like, what do you guys also, like, have that thing like we do in our culture where family names carry a history, it carry a heritage, it's a gift? Do you see it as a gift, or is it just, my mama saw this person on TV and she wanted me to, name me after them because she liked them, or she had a crush on this celebrity, so she named me after her crush? I feel like that's the most fucked up thing you can do to a kid. I really do. I honestly do. And this is me being 100,000,000,000% being African. Giving your kid a name because you saw it on TV or because you like this celebrity, I think it's wrong. I don't think it carries your history, and I think you should give your kid your history, And again, yes, sometimes it's heavy to carry your entire family history. I get it. But it's like, for us, our name is our reference. It is our reference, We were shamed for our name. Some of us are still shamed for our name. Like, I remember when I was in Europe, I was having this conversation with a Black European about, changing his name to have a white name because, when he applies for jobs, they won't take him if he has a West African name. So, I had a conversation with somebody who wanted to come to America, and he was like, yeah, I can come to America. I'm like, why? Because of my name? I'm like, well, what's your name? His name was Mohammed Jihad. I'm like, honey, you are not coming. Well, in American defense, I'm joking. I'm so joking. I'm joking. But yeah, we are ashamed for our names. Some of us are from parts of the world where our name was seen as a disgrace. So to us, it's very important for us to carry our histories. It's very important for us to carry our heritage. And people actually call me out because they're like, oh yeah, you call yourself Cynthia. Why do you call yourself Cynthia? You should, call yourself, because like for a long time I've called I introduced myself as Cynthia. And the funny thing that people do not understand is Ndaya, like I said, is a common name, right? For example, let me give you like a direct example. Mianda in my family, there's like 50,000 people with the name Mianda. If all the Miandas were in a house and you say Mianda, they're all gonna look at you. So our quote unquote white name is what differentiate us, right? So I am Daya, my cousin is Daya, my grandmother is Daya, and everything. So it's like we don't use the names. We don't use the first part of. That's why we have two first names, because I'm Daya Cynthia. So if I am among my cousin, I am Daya Cynthia. Like I'm Daya Cynthia, right? And the way to differentiate me from the other Ndayas is by calling me Cynthia. So that's why I've always used Cynthia. And to be honest with you, nobody in my family calls me Ndaya. My mother never called me Ndaya. My father, who named me after his mother, never called me Ndaya, because it's not common for us to use our traditional names to call each other, because again, most of us are named after somebody. Like when you have two sets of twins, like their specific name that you give your twins, right? The way names are passed down. So for example, I technically do not share the same last name as my father, because in our culture, let's say his family name is Abraham and his name is John Adam Abraham, right? So Abraham is from his father, right? So when they say Abraham's sons or Abraham kids, him and his siblings will come, right? Because they are their father children. But when he starts his family, he cannot call his kids Abraham, because that belongs to him and his siblings. So he give us the name Adam, right? So his name is, so for example, John Adam Abraham. So Abraham is the family of his family name between him, his parents, and his siblings. But when he goes to start a family, because he has to start his own history, of course we have to know the history of Abraham, right? But we also have to know the story, but when he goes and meet his wife and have children, they become the Adams, right? And the Adams have to start their own history, because he has to pass down their own history. So from that, technically, we don't share the same last name, because his last name is between him and his family, and our last name, because we are his kin. We are not the kin of my grandparents. I don't know if that makes sense, right? So for example, my name is Ndaya Cynthia. So because we have a lot of Ndaya, so if they say Ndaya, maybe me and my cousins are going to show up. But if they say Cynthia's kid, only my kids are going to show up. Does that make sense? All right, lovelies. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.